Hello, everyone. I am so excited. We are on episode 3 of our Member Stories series, and today I have 2 very special guests with me. I have Nathalie and Oliver Demereaux. Did I say that right? Doremieux.
Doremieux, yeah.
Okay, all right, that's right. And they are a duo, a couple duo. They work in business together, similar to Tom and I. But we were actually just chatting a little bit before the live, and I'll let them kind of give you a little history of how they got started.
Sure. So thank you so much for having us, Ariana. And so yes, a little story about us. We met at school. We were both doing software engineering studies, doing a master in computer science in France. After school, we couldn't really find a job in France, so we packed our bag and moved to the US to live the American dream. We both found a job pretty quickly. We stayed there for 10 years. We got 3 kids. And in 2005, we decided to sell everything, pack our bags, and move back to France to start our own business. So basically how the entrepreneurship all started.
That's a pretty crazy story. So you've moved twice.
Yes, big moves twice. Yeah.
Big move twice. And how was that the second time? Did you have you had the 3 kids the second time you moved?
Yeah, we had 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a cat, and a lot of furniture. We moved back with everything, which was a big mistake. But yeah.
Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine. We haven't moved with the kids yet, and I know how bad it was when we moved 15 minutes away with just 2 of us. So I cannot, I cannot fathom having to move across the ocean with all of those things and all of those people. You guys are very brave souls. So when did you start your business, the new software marketing together? What year was that in?
So that was right when we moved back. So that was in 2005. And what actually happened, we didn't create the company until 2006,
yeah.
right? Because we kind of did it the wrong way, which is because we had sold everything, we had money in the bank, we thought we had time. And because we were software developers, we said, well, let's build this amazing software platform, and it will be so cool that everybody will want to buy it, right? So we spent a lot of time in development, ignoring all the other pieces that a business needs in order to function. And we created the company in 2006 when we were about ready to have something to show, right? And then, we kind of looked for products to create. I mean, we didn't know right away, right? We had to find something.
We did develop a first product, and then we say, it's not good enough. So we decided to develop a second product and a third product and so on, thinking like, we'll find something that people would love.
Yeah.
And we saw that people would come to us, didn't think too much about marketing or sales and things
not
like
at
that.
all, actually.
Yeah.
So that's how really it got started, and we created the company, and that went on until we struggled until 2010, right? When we kind of like running out of money and are back against the wall, and then you have to make the hard decision. Do you go back and look for a job, or do you try something different? And we decided to hire a coach.
No,
to get help.
Actually, it's not exact.
Okay.
So what happened, we ran out of money, and the only option was to go back to consulting. So we did some consulting a little bit, and we went back to the US for 3 months.
You did?
Yes, and for many nights, it was kind of frozen there. So I was checking the internet, and I saw a guy that we knew back in the US was Tony Robbins. And he was doing like a series of about internet marketers, where he was talking about Franker and Marie Forleo and a bunch of famous people, and was like, geez, this guy has just made a book about selling for a parrot stuff, like how to teach to
talk to a parrot,
and he's making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And I was kind of saying, maybe we are focused on the wrong thing. Maybe we should be focused on marketing instead of just software development. So that's where we decided like to look a little bit more to this field, which was like pretty new to us. Like, so we had to go on internet and look a bunch of videos, and for days and days and days, we were just watching videos all over the internet. And at some point we say, okay, yeah, great, it's cool, we can do a lot of stuff, but how we do that? And so we decided to hire a coach.
Yeah.
And that's
because we hated marketing, but we realized that it was necessary, right? We're trying to avoid it. So that's how I did the really, really shortcut.
So yeah. And
well,
so
and I love that because you guys touched on a very important point, and what sounds like it was a pivotal moment for you, and it was you had tried all of these things, and you made all these products, and it wasn't working, and you had to pivot into a different direction. And although it was uncomfortable, you've obviously started to do the marketing side of things, and with hiring a coach, you admitted that you were a little bit lost and you needed some help from somebody. So you took those uncomfortable steps, and that's what led you in the right direction.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
I also love the banter back and forth between the two of you, because that's very much how Tom and I are. When we do live interviews or like podcasts or anything, we're always correcting each other and be like, no, that's not what happened, or that's not the right time.
I'm terrible with dates. I am terrible with dates. So, and he knows. So.
Right. At least you know that. You're
exactly
accepting of that.
That's one of the reasons why you're here.
And I see that you're holding a fidget spinner too.
Yes.
I love it. My daughter has one and is very.
It's my daughter's actually.
Oh, okay.
I don't know where she left it on the desk. It's my daughter's.
You just borrowed it for a moment. I love that.
Yeah.
How old are your kids? How old are your kids? You said you have 3?
Yeah. So they are 20, 18, and 12.
Okay. So you've got the teen years. We are not quite there yet.
Yeah. I mean, the 2 older ones we're fine.
Yeah.
The 12-year-old is, still.
There are still some fights.
We're almost there.
What would you say has been each of you, I guess you could each answer separately if you'd like, your biggest struggle trying to, I don't like the word balance, but in this case, to kind of sort of balance those roles as entrepreneurs, as parents, and then also as spouses in this journey?
So it's definitely a challenge, and it has evolved. So I think that, and you can correct me, I'm sure you will if I'm wrong. At the very beginning, I really struggled. I really wanted to make a clear distinction between the business and the family. Like I wanted to be able to say, okay, at 6 p.m. we close the door and this is it. We don't talk about it. And then when you start a business, the reality is that it just doesn't work. It is going to be 24/7, at least for some time. It's just the way it is. So I fought that for a long time because it was definitely there 24/7. I wasn't. So I fought that for a long time until I realized, okay, now you just have to let it in and let it be what it is, and then try to find some time for family, when you can, but really be aware that you still need that family time. It cannot just be just work, right? So that kind of evolved. And I think right now we are, what do you want to say about that?
So, but for us, the kids were always the main focus. So one of the reasons we wanted to work from home is to be able to pick up the kids at school when we needed it, and they knew that our office was always open if they have questions about homework, but not if it's like, hey mom, you know so or if we are talking to clients. So but they were always the main
that's true,
the main reason why we had the office at home. So it was very important to us, and it's something that we couldn't do in the US. So even though we had our working hours based on the kids' school time, like
still, I mean, we were living like in San Francisco, and they were going to the French school downtown. So by the time you get home, it's 7 or 7:30 p.m. and you have not much time left. So that's really, we didn't want to keep going like that, you know. And we just had the last one was 6 months old when we moved back. Yeah, we didn't want to keep going like this.
Yes, exactly. So kids were a really important part of the family. We had to be focused on the business also, but I've always dreamed to have my own company. So for me, it was like quite natural to start this journey. And for Nathalie, it wasn't the same thing. So
not at all. Yeah, I like to tell people that I really became an entrepreneur for love, because I knew he wanted to do it. And I know there is this side of him that it will never be the front face or stuff like that, because that's not the part, you know. Sometimes there is something that you're really, really good at, and that's where you want to stay and where you excel. And I think that's him. So I really struggle for this, because that's not I didn't have that mindset at all of being an entrepreneur, from, you know, being my own boss and stuff like that. So it's been a challenge, and I've had to go through, you know, fortunately I met Nathalie Lucier, and she really, really helped me go over, you know, all these mindset issues that I had, both from my past, you know, childhood, personal life, and my own doubts about myself, to, you know, be where we are right now. So it's been a lot of big changes, a big evolution on my end personally, in order to get to where we are today.
Yeah, and I had to make some changes because I was kind of leading the company on the technology part of the business, but they were not like some real leader to be the front face of the company for marketing and stuff like that. So I had to silently push her in that direction. So she didn't really know at that time what I was trying to do, but silently I pushed her, and she's doing a great job about it right now. So she made big changes in that direction also. So.
That's awesome. I love to see that, because it's very similar to Tom and I's story. I'm not the entrepreneur. I call myself the accidental entrepreneur, because I had never intended for that to happen. But Tom is very similar to you, Oliver. He has always wanted to, you know, build his own company and create the freedom for family and for us to be able to live our lives the way that we choose. And then he also just doesn't make a very good employee. I mean, he does his job well, but he doesn't like having to work for other people and doesn't want to for the rest of his life. So when he started that journey, gosh, about 10 years ago now, I was very, very resistant at first. Once, the same as you, Nathalie, I had to go through a lot of personal evolution and some mindset changes. And, you know, when it came down to it, just really us getting on the same page that we're doing this for our family and for ourselves. And, you know, that's kind of the point we're at right now is, all right, we're going to make this work whatever way we have to.
Yeah. And I really like this pivot that you guys did, you know, with the family thing, because I mean, to me, like, it used to be that when you were seeing people either with their kid, talking about kids or having their husband, might feel like less professional, like you're putting family and you're kind of trying to do this business on the side. But the reality is we are trying to build a business around our family. Mm-hmm. That's exactly what we do. And there is nothing unprofessional about that. It's just that this is our focus is family, and how do we managed to create a business around that and not the other way around.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So I want to know, you kind of already have talked about one of the low points in your journey, which was, creating all of the products first and kind of starting it off backwards, which I think a lot of us fall into the same trap. It's very easy to do. What has been your happiest moment so far in your entrepreneur journey?
It's for us, I think it's when we started to hit the six-figure business, because that was really a big. It was really important for us because that's what we were making as an employee, like easily in the Silicon Valley, and so it was really important to be able to make that amount of money
For ourselves.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Yeah.
and another point is when we really found what we were supposed to do with the business, because first we did create some product, but with the help of coaching, it did help us to shift the focus on something else, which was what we were doing for employee, like building websites and things like that. So, and it was kind of obvious, but we didn't see it ourselves that that's what we were supposed to do, because we thought like, nobody wants to do that. It's it's so boring. It's so easy. So.
Isn't that funny how we see things so easily for other people sometimes, when it comes to your own business, it's like the last thing you notice, and then you're like, oh, this is what should have been doing this whole time.
Absolutely. Yeah, we are blind to our own things because we have all these limiting beliefs and all these doubts. And if there is one thing that we learn is that we fail a lot. But, what we do right now is we take action. Speed of implementation is key, and some things are going to work, some things are not going to work. In the past, we've waiting too much, for not doing things completely because we were unsure for fear, but actually the enemy here. Because if it's not going to work, you want to find out quickly. And that's kind of what we do in the products and the services that we offer like this. One of the things we do is we build memberships. And for people that get started, we have this package that get them a version where they can run a beta or a pilot very quickly. Because that's what they need. They don't need the big branding, stuff like that. They need to validate their ideas. They need to get beta testers. That's exactly what we did. They need to get feedback so that they can make it better, and then boom, you can do your launch, and you can.
Oh, I wish Tom was here right now because you're speaking his language. You just said validate the idea and get. Oh, what did you say? Get it out there and
get feedback.
And get feedback.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's exactly what you tell people.
Make it better, and then get some testimony when you do your launch. You have clients that have had results. You have a great platform that is stable, that you've perfected, with feedback. So
it's much better to pay some money and fail in a month than trying to do everything yourself and fail in a year. So
and I like to say is what is it that I like to say? I like to say great now is better than perfect never. People are waiting for perfection, and
it doesn't happen.
No.
Hi, Sandrine.
Yes, she says, hello, you are awesome. That's one of Tom's favorite quotes, actually, is done is better than perfect.
Yeah.
It's funny because for a long time, for me, that was a very hard concept to be okay with because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But over the years and, working with different people and seeing different products and different things out there, I've come to the understanding that I kind of have to push past my own perfectionism and just say, okay, well, this might not be perfect for me, but it's good enough for everybody else because it's out there, it's done. People can start getting use out of it. It can start helping people. So that's definitely been a huge struggle for me to overcome was, all right, I have to check my perfectionism at the door a little bit. which is
I know
tough sometimes.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this too, like every single day. But
well, good. I'm glad I'm not alone.
But I also know that it's so much easier with your flaws and your mistakes because people can relate to that. They, when they see perfection, it almost looks unattainable. I remember this conversation I had with a friend at a mastermind. We were in New York. That was a couple of years ago. And she was telling me, we were in the same mastermind. And after the first meeting, she told me, wow, you know what? You're very different than what I thought you were because we hang out in the same group. And she said, you used to scare the shit out of me because I felt like you knew everything, you had it together. And I'm like, that was a big moment for me because she saw all my flaws. Masterminds, there are some tears and some stuff that come out, right? All your insecurities, that's kind of the goal, right? To push yourself. And so she saw that and like, wow, you used to scare the shit out of me. And you're very different. And that was me because I realized that people don't see me as I really are. And that is a problem, right? I mean, for me, at least that was a problem. So that's when it really started to shift in my mind that the more, you be yourself, first it's going to be easier. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else. And it's okay to make mistakes. And if people are not happy with mistakes, I've had people that reply and say, hey, you got typos, blah, blah, blah. Well, if people stop at that, then they can. I'm just going to, move on. And if they are in this negativity mindset, they are not my people anyway, right? Yeah. So forgiving myself, basically.
That's a big one. That's hard. Also, it's that fear mentality of, oh my gosh, what if people don't like me? And it's so hard to push past that sometimes and say it's okay to be myself because you want to attract people that like you for you. And exactly. I think that's a weird gray area in the entrepreneur world because everyone assumes that, oh, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, you should be professional. But then there's also, you need to be authentic and be yourself and be honest and open about who you are. So you kind of have to find that middle area where, okay, well, I'm going to be a little bit professional, at least about the things that I know, because I am an expert. I do want to help people and share my message. But I also want to be myself. I want to be authentic. I want people to like me for me. And you can't do that if you're always trying to be perfect and you're always trying to show people how awesome you are. You have to, I think showing those flaws and also talking about your failures makes people realize that you're a real person and that they can do what you've done. And that's the biggest connection that you want people to see is whatever you're trying to teach them, whatever you're trying to help your audience with, you showing them that you're real and that your life is real and the journeys and the hardships and everything that you've gone through is real. Oh, there's the dog. Only helps to show them that they can do the same thing. They can follow in your footsteps and create their own path to have the success that they want in their life. And I think that is huge. It's a huge epiphany for people once you realize like it's okay for me to say what I want to say and to share my message because I'm going to attract the kind of people that I want to attract and everyone else will go elsewhere.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think it comes down to understanding who your audience is. If your audience is an entrepreneur like you, they're going to have a family. They're going to have flaws. They're going to have dogs that run out when you do a live thing. They're going to have kids that are like this on all fours because they think they're not on camera. It happened to me on live. My daughter is like, and I say, okay, you can get up now.
Why are you army crawling in the background?
And if you are entrepreneurs, it's okay because that's what life is as an entrepreneur. And not only this is natural, and second, they can totally identify. If you're going to work with corporates, they watch your video and they see this, they might not like it. But again, you don't want to, market it the same way anyway, right? So it's about when you know who you're talking to, like they're not people in suits and, in big offices and stuff like that. It's okay to be yourself. Yep. Because you're going to get closer to these people. So,
and we are here to give them shortcuts and to help them to avoid the mistake that we've been making. So, yes. And we can't just speak about the good stuff.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, our thing is to make all tech things easy. So we take care of the tech stuff so that you can focus on your expertise and, what you know how to do when serving your clients and stuff like that. But it comes with challenges of, us running a business. And that's what we like to share as well, along the way. All the same. We're all in the same boat.
Yes. And we all have made mistakes. Obviously, there's some things that you can share to help people not make the same mistakes as you. And then I think there's just some things that kind of come with the territory of becoming an entrepreneur. We can all tell you not to do something, but sometimes you just have to
go
do it yourself to see like, oh, that really isn't going to work. They were telling the truth, and move on and learn from your own failures. But maybe we helped you fail a little faster to come out on the other side. Be like, oh, yeah, they talked about this.
And it's also putting the focus of this is our experience and this is what we experienced. That doesn't mean, results are not typical. It's like it could work for you. I mean, you have a different business, you have a different audience, you have a different, your copy will be different, everything will be different. But what we can share and, hey, this is what can happen. So again, speed of implementation and just doing it.
Yeah, they usually put the disclosure saying results are not typical, but in a good way.
But it's in a bad way.
In a bad way also, so you don't have to lose as much money as we did to be successful.
Yes. Tom says it all the time. You don't have to go and spend $7,500 on a real estate. What did he do? Real estate program to get into real estate. Like, don't do that. We can tell you it doesn't help you get into real estate. There's better ways in spending less money, and you can get into real estate in a way that will work for you. So yeah, I love that, adding the disclaimer of the bad things and the good things. It could work for you. It didn't work for us, but it could work for you.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. So before we wrap things up here, I know we already kind of touched on this a little bit, but do you have a specific piece of advice or a specific lesson that you want people to take away from your story?
So for me, if I had to do it all over again, I would start with coaching from day one. So don't be afraid to ask for help to somebody that's been through where you want to go already. For us, it was like, it would have saved us years
and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
I love that, and that makes me sad at the same time.
And I also know that coaching is not for everybody. I mean, I have a couple of friends that are very successful. They've never had the coach, and one of them is a coach actually, and that's totally fine. But if you feel you're stuck and you don't know what it is, because we don't know what we don't know. We don't know why we're stuck. We think that, nobody likes what we're doing and stuff like that, when in fact we are probably sabotaging ourselves, right? And then just get help, because that's going to save you. Even if it can amount to a lot of money, it might seem like it's going to save you a ton of time if you find the right person.
And it's not because you're asking for help that you're stupid. It's probably the other way around.
It's a smart move.
It's a smart move,
yeah.
Well, and like you said, not knowing what you don't know.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love that.
We talked several coaches and on different areas. The first one we got was really for business. He said, "You guys are developers, you've done websites. Why don't you start building websites?" It almost took off right there. Then I had Nathalie for the mindset and all this stuff. And she helped me get to where I am today, to the point where she had me speak on stage. I would have never believed I would have done that. So and then we got other coaching, for more tech specific things. And we are not afraid to spend on training and on coaching, because it's an accelerator. Definitely.
I love that. That is great advice. Because I think a lot of people they do think that, they're afraid of going out and finding somebody to help them, and they're afraid of asking for help. They're in their mind, it makes them think that they're stupid, or they don't know enough. Yeah, that they're weak. And that's not true. I mean, all of us can use some personal development, and for some that might just be going out and learning new things, but for others, having a coach and a mentor behind you it can take years off of your personal development, and it can save you money in the long run because you have somebody there that can help you, you know, with developing your business and developing yourself. And I think that's just something that can be so helpful for entrepreneurs, especially as you get started. Before we end out this amazing live stream interview, tell everyone where they can find you on social media, websites. Where can we find you guys?
So they can find us at newsoftwaremarketing.com. That's our main website. And on Facebook, we had the Facebook page called New Software Marketing. And you can also find me personally at Nathalie Doremieux, and we have a free Facebook group that's called the Membership Experiment, and that's for everyone that wants to teach online and reach out, and it's called the Membership Experiment on Facebook.
Awesome. All right, we will make sure to jump in and post all of those links for everyone so that it's a little bit easier for you to find Nathalie and Oliver. Thank you guys so much for coming on, and thank you for coming on together. It's been lovely having you both, and I love having the different perspectives. Sandrine says, I love your membership course. Thank you, and my clients love it too. Yeah. So it's been so nice to have you guys on today and to have a little chat. And I look forward to learning more about the new software marketing business and to learning more about your family as we share stories in the group together.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having us, Ariana.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you guys have a lovely day and stay cool.
All right. Yeah, we'll try.